20 Curiosities about Osamu Tezuka. Hello, welcome back. Today we'll be talking about Osamu Tezuka, a man who many have regarded as the god of manga. Tezuka Osamu was born on November 3, 1928 in Toyonaka, Japan, to Fumiko and Yutaka Tezuka. When he was 5, his family moved to the village of Kohama in Hyogo Prefecture, now part of the city of Takarazuka. At the age of 7, Tezuka started attending Ikeda Elementary School in Osaka. His small stature made him a target for bullies, but he found solace in the stories his mother told him and the animated movies his father showed at home. These early experiences deeply influenced him, sparking his love for storytelling and animation, which would later shape his career as a manga artist. In this video, we are going to take a look at the life and events that shaped the life of the man who is regarded as the father of modern manga and anime as you enjoy it these days. Number 20. The First Steps of a Genius. Tezuka drew his first comic in 3rd grade, a story called Bin Bin Namachan about a bald-headed boy modeled after himself. He enjoyed reading comics like Norakuro and Nakamura Manga Library, and even created a story about Martians titled Kaseijin Kuru. During this time, he also invented his famous character Hyotan Tsugi in a work called Fuku-chan to Utsuri, one of his early works. Shina no Yoru caused quite a sensation, hinting at the groundbreaking impact he would have on the world of manga and animation. Number 19. Osamu Tezuka picked his first pen name out of his entomophile passion. Another passion of Osamu Tezuka's was insects. He would spend hours in the field studying them, creating his own detailed encyclopedia of the various species he observed. One day, he discovered an insect named ozamushi, which bore a resemblance to his own name. Captivated by this serendipity, he adopted osamushi as his pen name. Number 18. Osamu Tezuka began his career as a teenager. At 15, Osamu began drawing with pen and ink and ventured into writing comics, self-publishing 13 books in that year alone. In 1945, Tezuka entered Osaka University's medical division. The following year, he made his professional debut with the comic Machan no Nikicho in an Osaka children's newspaper. Number 17. Osamu Tezuka had his first breakout hit at 16. In 1946, Tezuka met Nanama Sakai at a Kansai Manga Club meeting where Sakai invited him to draw a feature-length cartoon. Collaborating with Sakai as the story writer, they published Shin Takarajima the following year, which sold an impressive 400,000 copies. These were huge numbers for someone so young. Number 16. Osamu Tezuka was very accomplished outside of the manga scene. Tezuka's talents extended beyond comics. He won first place at a YMCA competition for his piano performance and was actively involved in his university's acting club, participating in school plays. Since he graduated from college as he evolved as an artist, he was known as Dr. Tezuka by his peers. The young overachiever did his best to think out of the box, something we can see in his art. What set Tezuka apart from his teachers was his ability to infuse a three-dimensional feel into his pictures and bring more lively motion to his characters. This approach would revolutionize the manga industry. Number 15. Astro Boy would be the character to define Osamu Tezuka's career. By 1950, Tezuka Osamu was writing Jungle Taitei, known in America as Kimba the White Lion, which was published in the magazine Manga Shonen. While fulfilling his studies in Osaka University the following year, he created his most defining character, a little humanoid robot known as Tetsuwan Atom, titled Atom Taishi, featured in the magazine Shonen. In 1952, Tezuka passed the exam to become a practicing physician. After graduating in 1953, Tezuka would take all the ideas from Atom Taishi and relaunch the whole thing, renaming it to Tetsuwan Atom, or Astro Boy in the West. The comic strip syndication continued until March 1968. Number 14. Osamu Tezuka had to make a thorough career choice very early on his life. Tezuka found himself at a crossroads, torn between pursuing a career as a manga artist or a doctor. Seeking guidance, he turned to his mother, who advised him to follow his passion. Encouraged by her words, Tezuka chose to dedicate himself to manga, a decision that would shape the course of his life and revolutionize the world of comics and animation. Number 13. By 1953, Osamu Tezuka was already a big name in Japan. In 1953, Tezuka Osamu moved to the now legendary Tokiwaso apartment, a heaven for young comic talents from all over Japan. Among these aspiring artists, many were younger and looked up to Tezuka as their guru, with him becoming a mentor to a generation of manga creators. In 1959, Tezuka married Etsuko Okada. That same year, Tetsuwan Atom, or Astro Boy, premiered on Fuji TV featuring live actors. By 1961, he had established his own animation production company, Mushi Productions, and began working on the pilot for the animated version of Tetsuwan Atom. On January 1, 1963, the animated Tetsuwan Atom started airing on Fuji TV and was broadcast by NBC in the US as Astro Boy the following year. Tezuka followed up with the animated versions of his comics, Big X and W3, and the world of anime would never be the same again. Number 12. By 1965, Osamu Tezuka could choose his own projects. In 1965, Tezuka finally created his first color animated show, Jungle Taitei, which aired in the Americas as Kimba the White Lion. Although his works from the late 60s, such as Magma Taishi, and the 70s, like Mitsume Gatoru and Black Jack, aren't as well known outside Japan, he continued to draw at a prolific pace, creating nearly 700 separate works. Number 11. Osamu faced numerous challenges despite being a revered mangaka in Japan. In 1972, internal strife among his business partners led to the dissolution of Mushi Productions. Undeterred, Tezuka founded another production company named Tezuka Productions next year to handle all his properties. During the 1980s, his workload slowly declined and the author transitioned into more of a cultural icon, frequently appearing as a guest at social events and on TV interviews while managing his production company. Number 10. Osamu Tezuka was sought as art director by Stanley Kubrick. In January 1965, Tezuka received a letter from American film director Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick had watched Astro Boy and was a huge fan of the character. He resolved to invite Tezuka to be the art director for 2001, A Space Odyssey, but Tezuka could not afford to leave his studio for a year to live in England, so he refused. Although he could not work on it, he loved the film and would play its soundtrack at maximum volume in his studio to keep him awake during long nights of work. Number 9. Tezuka pursued some artistic choices that would be branded as problematic in modern times. Osamu Tezuka has been branded a racist by some unsavory critics, as the author was used to draw black people in the stereotypical fashion of the 60s. The author, who was heavily inspired by the animation style of American studios such as Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera, insisted that he was only continuing the styles he saw in American comics and films. This point has often been a source of contention among Tezuka's publishers, especially in the USA. As of 2003, Dark Horse has published Tezuka's manga works wholly unedited in the US, adding a disclaimer that states that while Tezuka held no racist beliefs and his artwork was a product of its time, and that it would be wrong to retroactively change his works without his input. Number 8. Osamu Tezuka was quite a character by himself. The revered manga artist and animation director would still be quite an interesting character, even if he hadn't turned famous. Tezuka is a descendant of Hattori Hanzo, a famous ninja and samurai. His main source of inspiration was the 1930 graphic novel He Done Her Wrong, written and drawn by Milt Gross. He was also a huge fan of Superman, drawing plenty of inspiration from the character for Astro Boy. Tezuka was even made honorable chairman of the Superman fan club in Japan on October 6, 1983. Number 7. Osamu Tezuka was a huge baseball fan. For most of his life, Osamu Tezuka was an avid baseball fan. He would even license a grown-up version of Kimba the White Lion as the logo for the Seibu Lions, his favorite team of the Japanese Professional Baseball League. He would showcase his love for the sport in a manga named Astro. This manga series, which he co-created with Norihiro Nakajima, revolves around a baseball team with extraordinary abilities. The team is known for their unique and almost superhuman skills, making it a blend of sports and fantasy, characteristic of Tezuka's innovative storytelling. Number 6. Osamu Tezuka draws heavy inspiration from the Takarazuka Review. Tezuka grew up in Takarazuka City. Hyogo and his mother often took him to the Takarazuka Theater. The Takarazuka Review is performed by women, including the male characters. The Takarazuka Review is known for its romantic musicals usually aimed at a female audience, thus having a large impact on the later works of Tezuka, including his costuming designs. Number 5. Osamu Tezuka was a mama's boy. While many adult men would shrug at the idea of being motivated by their mothers, Osamu Tezuka embraced his mother's love. Fumiko Tezuka often comforted the author by telling him to look to the blue skies, giving him confidence. These moments of reflection led him to the realization that he could use manga as a means of helping to convince people to care for the world. Number 4. His status led him to become a source of inspiration for many famed artists. Powerhouses in the world of manga such as Shotaro Ishinomori, the creator of Cyborg 009 and Go Nagai, the father of mecha anime, cite him as a source of inspiration for their works. As a pioneer of the star system, Tezuka used a set of recurring characters across different stories in his works, much like a repertory company of actors who take on various roles in different plays. Osamu Tezuka treated most of his characters as if they were actors capable of playing multiple roles in his manga and anime. This made Tezuka an incredibly prolific and fast artist, completing nearly 140,000 pages during his lifetime. He was known to draw as many as 10 pages of artwork in a single day. He also loved to make cameos in his own work. Number 3. An urban legend cites The Lion King as a straight rip-off of Kimba, the White Lion. When Disney's The Lion King was released in 1994, critics and fans noticed parallels. Both stories feature a young lion cub, Simba, and Kimba, who face challenges after their father's death and struggle to reclaim their rightful place as leaders. Additionally, there are visual resemblances between characters and scenes from both works. For example, the wise baboon Rafiki in The Lion King resembles Kimba's mentor, Daniel Baboon, and several iconic scenes, such as Simba's ascent to Pride Rock, appear similar to those in Kimba the White Lion. Number 2. Osamu Tezuka passed away in 1989. In 1988, Osamu Tezuka felt pain in his abdomen and underwent surgery, not knowing this was due to stomach cancer as his physician chose not to reveal his terminal illness. According to one of his assistants, the author was overheard saying, "This doctor doesn't understand my question," as he inquired about his condition. He passed away on February 9, 1989. Number 1. Osamu Tezuka remains the god of manga in the eyes of many fans worldwide. Osamu Tezuka is remembered as the greatest manga artist of all time, single-handedly jump-starting both modern-day manga and anime, with many manga artists being influenced by Tezuka's works. He still remains the most prolific artist in the field, with over 700 stories spanning over 170,000 pages to his credit. His impact on the entire social culture of Japan's also seen as immeasurable, as he influenced so many different areas of art and society through his comics. Never in history has a manga artist influenced the society of a single country the way he did. He will always be remembered as the founding father of modern-day scene you enjoy in both manga and anime. We are glad you have reached the end of the video. Please subscribe to the channel and leave a suggestion about any topic of your choice in the comments. We'll be back real soon with 20 new curious facts about something else.